Today we're going to be trying out a little exercise on which what I want to show you is producing depth. Okay, so it's going to be showing distance. Um, it's not going to be a landscape or anything like that, nothing complicated. This is just basically using shapes and different tones of shading to produce a foreground, a middle ground, and a background. Okay, so let's pretend that this is your paper. I'm going to be using a small size just to be able to produce this quickly, and that we can move forward and not spend so much time doing the shading. Okay, so like I said, let's pretend this is your paper, and what I'm going to ask you to produce is I'm going to ask you to do 5 simple shapes that basically are going to turn into windows. Okay, windows basically means imagine these are openings. These are shapes that you will be using and be able to see through. That's the concept of what we're going for. So I always like to work better with odd numbers than even, because even is it's always balanced, so therefore it's more boring. Okay, so here we have 1 2 3 4 5. So 5 is a good number, 3 is a good number, 7 is a good number. Okay, it breaks off um, the monotony of having the same on both sides. So here, as you can see, pretty simple shapes. Okay, everything is closed. I did it super quick. So this is going to be step 1. On step 2, what I want you to consider is I'm going to show you I already worked on step 2. Okay, and basically what I'm doing here is I'm presenting to you the 5 same windows. Okay, and now we can see through them, and we can see that there is shapes in the background, but these shapes, they overlap between windows. So there's one window here, one window there, and then there's this pear shaped. Okay, there's this elongated one that also communicates with both of them. This one, look, it's like a triangle, and it communicates with this one, and this one. Okay, this one with this one, this one with this one, this one with this one, this one with this one. Okay, so everyone is almost like connected. And what I want you to try now is copy this onto your windows. Okay, so let's start off with the larger one. Okay, and here we go, and I'm gonna skip there, and I'm gonna come here, and I will close it right there. So they're all sharing the same space. This one right here, I come from here and I go up, and I make sure that they connect somehow so that it looks like it has continuation outside of the border. Here the same thing, pick up, go over, and close. Okay, here we pick up 2, and we make sure that they share that space. On this one, it's a smaller one. I pick up, and then I make sure that they're both sharing the same space. Here's another one. Boom, pick up, continue. And this one connects, and it goes all the way here. There's one more right here, and there. We now have the outside, which is going to remain white, and then afterwards what we're going to do is, this is our foreground. Whatever is not a shape in there, which means this part right here is the background. Okay, so background, the whole thing goes black. And I'm going to show you now step 3, which I have already worked on, and it's right here. Step 3, everything that is not a shape goes black. So then, in other words, all of this is going to go super black, okay? So basically you just tone everything just like how I have it here. The final step is going to be, so we have light, which is the purest white. We have the darkness, which is the black. And then we need the middle tone, which is basically a little shading of gray. Okay, so now I am using here my number 4B pencil. You can use a 2B or 4B, those are fine. If you go softer than 4B, everything will start becoming dark and you will not be able to see the difference between one shade and the other. So I suggest you don't go darker than 4. Okay, so what happens here is when you have in the foreground the white, and then you have the black as your background, then you're gonna end up producing this middle tone gray that is going to make it appear as if the shapes were floating. Okay, and I like to call these my little stones, which now appear to be floating. Okay, if you want to go a little bit darker, you can go ahead and do that. But notice that even though I'm going a little bit darker, I am not in the proximity of the darkest, which is the black. Okay, you continue on. Producing more gray color. And then you start seeing that little by little your stones start to I like to say they start to float. Okay, they basically pop up from the background, and now they seem to be floating on this dark background. So as you can see, it's a very simple exercise that you can produce to show depth, to show distance, you know, which is one of the 8 elements of art. Some people say it's 7 elements, others say it's 8 if you include typography, which is another element that can be used to also produce art. So like I said, this is a simple project, but it does take its time. Of course, the bigger you make it, the more time consuming it will be. But I think in the end it does pay off the work. And it really helps you understand how in something that is 2D, you can produce something that shows 3 different planes, you know, and it's just by using tonal values. So it's a simple little project that you can do to help you realize that you don't need a lot of art supplies to be able to illustrate something that shows, you know, different elements of art. Of course, if you do have different gray color markers, you could also do this with gray markers, um, making the background either the darkest gray you have, or black, and then producing the gray, which is what I'm working on right now, with a gray marker. Okay, so I think I'm about done right now. Let me erase right here because I went out the line. Okay, so basically, as you can see, like I said, you know, we have our frame, which is, that's why I like to call this windows. We have our white frame, and basically just looks like we made holes on the paper, and now we are looking through, and then we see this wonderful I like to call them stone shapes floating. Okay, so they're floating all over the place, and in the background we see the black, which is what makes the gray pop, and then the white, I think, as soon as you keep it clean, you will be able to produce those that depth, which is necessary uh, to be able to produce this wonderful little piece of artwork. Okay, so have fun, enjoy, bye bye, see you on the next one.